Hello and welcome to a new video. This time we will do the Road to Las Vegas 2024 case by Klinsmann Langhans. I am left-handed right. It's, I think, round 5. This was my best round so far. I think I was only 21 points short of qualifying for the main draw. But yeah, you can't have everything. I've copied my lambdas in here before. And I will also make those tables here into tables. Normally I don't do that, but yeah, you don't know. You can use them often. So this is table LT. Sorry. Ah. Okay. Insert this table name LT. Ah, sorry. You see, I don't use tables that often. And also name this only T. This is already a table, but I will name it differently. And we can now step into the question. The instructions aren't so important. You can also use them without reading properly. So here we need to do an XLOOKUP for the names. The names are in table T. And we want to return the left foot dominant, sorry. And in T, there's the foot dominance reference. And we can now track everything down, and we don't need, that's the huge advantage, we don't need to make those references absolute here. These are already absolute because we use the table names, let's call it that way. So here the age in year 2024 minus XLOOKUP, and we can now do an XLOOKUP for the birth year. Estimated birth year, close the bracket, and it's right. Already 120 points. So now it gets a little bit more differently, and I will shortly jump into the table and do it there. So for each of the names below, find the 3 references and find the original references. So switch the references and concatenate it then. So from flipping sides we should do. So for FH for flipping hand, FF for flipping foot, and FI for flipping eye. And I will do an XLOOKUP for those values here inside table and on our language table. And if it's the left reference, then I want to have the right reference. And then we use the if not found. We do another XLOOKUP, because if it's the right reference, I want to have the left reference. Close the brackets. And we will now do this also for the foot dominance. We don't need to change here something because the dominance there is already in a single table, or the reference is only in the also in the single table there. Now I will concat everything to make it a little bit easier. Concat this row by row. Yeah, right, well, okay. And we can now do an XLOOKUP for the name inside the table and return the concatenated thing here. And it's done. So it was quite easy, 240 points. So now let's mix biology with grammar. Based on the hand dominance, find the codes on the table for each person. And if you now pay attention, you should know on this table there are only people with a hand dominance left. I experienced this by doing the case, and it's obvious because the table is only guys with a left-hand dominance. So if we want to look for the language here, we only need to look for a left reference and not also for right reference. So this is a little bit shorter than so. Therefore, we only need to XLOOKUP for the language inside the language table, and out the language, search in the language, and return the right dominance because we want to switch sides. Oh no, the left dominance. Sorry, left dominance. Left dominance in Japanese, but we don't need to switch the sides. So everything done, was super easy. I don't know, you can do this also more complicated. So here, this is a little bit more complicated. We should sort the table alphabetically by name and by birth year. But you need to pay attention, you need to do this in the other direction. So first by birth year and then by name. I think that was right. So for example, that Charlie Chaplin came before Picasso. And they are both from the same field, so field is art. So art, Picasso, Charlie Chaplin is Charlie Chaplin year is here, and Picasso is older, so comes before. That's right. So now we first do an XLOOKUP for the field the guys are in. This is sports. Then filter the names. If the field is the same as our XLOOKUP, then we get their list, and we now do an name this into a let function. We now do an xmatch of this guy inside the function here. We now get a number, and we then use an index function in the fields list we have created. Use the match plus if this is younger than +1, otherwise -1, close all the brackets, and we can now drag this down and it's solved. Because we've sorted it before and we've used those dynamic functions to create those lists here. So this is a little bit more complicated. I'm not so intelligent as Dim. I will link Dim's video in the video description because I doesn't know how to use the log function here. I've learned it in school, but here you don't need that function anymore. So this is a little bit complicated. So we first need the birth year of those guys. In table, search for the name, enter the birth year. Then we need to add 21. And then we need to search for the decay ratio, for the so-called genetic decay ratio. Here this is given. We need to multiply this with 1 times 1 to the power of, you don't need, there's something I will use 300. And now if the guy is left-handed, if the guy is right-eyed, it will change when the genetic decay ratio is larger than 3. Otherwise, if it's a right-eyed person, it will change when the genetic decay ratio is larger than 7. And then you need to add the count here, so 23, for example, to the number here. And you will get those the result, where the person will change the dominance. So, and therefore I need to look up for the name. in the table and look up for the I dominance. Oh, and I now need another XLOOKUP for an X match is okay. I now do an X match for this dominance in the language table for the left reference. And if it's now is number, then it's left dominance, and we are at 3, otherwise we are at 7. You see here it is right hand dominant, so we are at 7. We now stack everything together. So copy this, make an X match here, look up for this value inside this function here. Match mode is next larger item 23, and add this to the current birth year plus 21 plus those function here 99 1900. Copy that formula in here, and it's right, and we've now done everything, and we can track it down, and it's solved. So for this I will use an data table. So you can create a data table yourself with like doing or you have a macro for this. I have a macro for this, and I've now created the table where there is a XLOOKUP for the answer result here, and an XLOOKUP more important for the input values here, because then I will do an with, and also here an XLOOKUP for the game numbers, and then I can later do an change those game numbers in here, and the input values will automatically update, and I can do the XLOOKUP, the data table then based on this. So first split those names here. I now need the instructions. I use sometimes their snipping tool to copy the instructions in. Yeah. Let's copy the whole thing in, put it aside here. So we should do here the change of I dominance and the year, so the age they change I dominance. So we need that formula there. Update this for the names here, but we don't need to add the birth year because we want to have the age. We can now track this aside. Foot dominance, no. We want eye dominance. Something is odd. Ah, yeah, I see. Oh no, I need to map this. Lambda A. Close the brackets, and we now have the values 41, 49, 53, 81, 56. That's right. So let's round this up. Round up, average. Round to 0 decimals. Now left all those names, sort them, sort by according to the base. So we need to sort the letters after their age. and here it's as it should be, KLRMMD. So now I can concat the letters, minus sign in between, and the rounded up average age. Yeah, the code is the same. Now wrapping. So here under under data, what if analysis data table, our inputs are assigned a column. Here's our changing cell. I think we are on the wrong calculation mode. Calculation options here. We now have the codes. Copy the codes in, and we've solved everything. All the levels solved so far. Score is 100. Lowest the genetic decay ratio from field fiction, and we want to have the name. So here, lowest genetic decay ratio from field fiction. So let's take a look. Oh, there are only two guys, so we don't need the fancy function there. Lowest genetic decay ratio is here, and the name is Link Zelda. I don't know. I think it's a fictional character. Consider all three dominances. How many left dominances occur there? So, so hand dominances are all left-handed. So 47 plus all the foot dominances, and I need to look if they are left or right. So left foot and left eye. X match. Foot dominance in language table, left reference, and now is number, and also minus minus to make this into numbers, and also the same for eye dominance. Don't need to change something there. And we now do a sum, sum of all those values here, and 47 for the hand dominance, 96, and it's done. How many times did the least frequent language appear in the table? Least language. Okay. The huge table here is the language. Okay. So language hand, language foot, language eye. We need to do an X lookup for the dominance in the language table for the left reference, and return in the language table the language. If not found, because with the foot and eye there will be things that will not found. Also search for this inside LT right reference and return LT language. Close everything. Here we have our languages there. LI language and language F, language I. Now copy those functions to the right. And what I would now do is use my most of lambda and finish is the language that occurs the least, and it's 20. Yeah. What you could also do when you don't have a lambda prepared, you could use from the language table all the languages and do an count if. I don't think. Yeah, it will work. So you have also finish here. Also not so much slower. So what is the only alphabet letter that doesn't appear all level 5 answers, not case sensitive, and don't take the example into consideration. So bonus 4. Here are all the answers hard-coded. We can now concat them. And we can now make a list for chars. So either you have a lambda for this, or you write char 64 plus sequence 26. We'll do the same. And we now do a substitute. Sorry, to count also lambda, or you can do len of the whole text minus len of substitute the text, and we substitute out every character against nothing, close everything. There's something odd because there are multiple characters that doesn't appear. Oh yeah, sorry, this is case sensitive substitute. So I need upper here. Yes, you see, and now you can sort, for example, this here, and you see that Q doesn't appear, and you can then copy Q in there. And that's alright, only 70 points missing. Based on level 6 rules, every name in the table sheet, latest year, a person would change I dominance. Level 6 rules, go into the table, look up for the name and also match the name, and also look up here for the name. And we have now all the years. The person will change I dominance. We can now use the max function and 2056, and it's solved. And you see, because we have everything in a single formula, we can copy them easily in, and because we have used the tables, we can only need to change a few things there. So this was the challenge. Pretty well beaten, but I knew the challenge before, so here was a level playing field. So I will link the where you can buy the challenge in the video description, and also a few videos by other guys smashing this challenge here. Thank you for attention. I hope to see you in the next videos here and here. I wish you a great day. Bye.